1867. Whispering Pines, Arizona Territory. Cassandra Miller stood at the window of the trading post, watching the floodwaters rise across the only bridge out of town, and knew her careful plans were drowning with it. The seamstress had 6 yards of cotton to deliver, a town meeting in 3 days where she would ask them to back her school, and now no way to reach the lumber mill for supplies. Cold rain hammered the salt flats beyond, turning the mirages into gray sheets of water. She pressed her palm against the glass, feeling the chill seep through. Behind her, voices rose as travelers realized they were trapped. The man near the door caught her attention because he did not complain. He simply watched, dark eyes taking in every face, every exit. His vest was quality leather, his hands calloused from reins, not tools. A vaquero, she thought, and one who knew how to disappear.
Bridge will not hold past tomorrow.
Then we walk.
Not through that. The salt flats flood. They become traps. Quicksand where the hard pan cracks.
She turned fully to face him. Up close, she saw the patience in his stance, the way he angled himself to see both doors.
You have crossed them before.
Yes.
Then you know the safe paths.
He studied her for a long moment, and she met his gaze without flinching.
What makes you think I will share them?
Because you are still here, instead of riding out before the water rose. That means you are waiting for something, or you have nowhere better to go. Either way, you will need allies when the supplies run low.
A faint smile touched his mouth.
Finn Thornton.
Cassandra Miller.
He inclined his head slightly, a gesture that felt more formal than a handshake would have been. Outside, the rain turned to sleet, rattling against the roof like thrown gravel. The trading post owner, a nervous man named Gil, began rationing the lamp oil. Someone muttered about the mine opening in a week and the payday they would miss. Cassandra felt the weight of the music box in her apron pocket, the small carved rosewood case her mother had left her. Inside was a photograph and a lock of hair, the only proof she had of her family name before her father had lost everything to drink. She needed that school. She needed the town to see her as more than a seamstress with a dead mother and a missing father. The knock came after midnight. Hard. Official. Cassandra woke on the trading post floor where she had been dozing with the other stranded women. Through the window, she saw a torchlight reflecting off standing water. Gil opened the door to 3 men in militia coats, rain dripping from their hat brims. The one in front smiled, and Cassandra felt her stomach drop. Addison Blackwood. He had courted her last spring, had offered marriage twice, had not accepted her refusals with grace. The militia captain stepped inside, bringing the smell of wet wool and gun oil. His smile never reached his eyes.
Problem? Captain?
Finn had appeared from the shadows near the back wall, moving with that quiet patience she was beginning to recognize. Blackwood's smile widened. We are looking for the woman who stole the assay documents from the territorial office. The ones showing the silver deposit under the school lot.
I stole nothing.
Blackwood turned to her, still smiling. Your satchel was seen leaving the office yesterday afternoon. The documents are gone. The mine opens in 7 days. If we cannot prove the claim, the lot reverts to the territory. Unless you sign it over now.
No.
One of the other men stepped forward, hand on his pistol. Finn shifted his weight almost imperceptibly.
She said, no.
Blackwood looked between them, and something calculating entered his expression. Then, She can explain it to the marshal when the waters drop. Gil, I am commandeering your back room. Miss Miller will wait there under guard.
You have no authority.
Blackwood gestured, and his men moved. Cassandra saw Finn tense, saw him measuring distances and odds. She caught his eye and gave the smallest shake of her head. Not here. Not with innocent people sleeping on the floor. She let them take her arm and lead her to the storage room. The door locked with a scrape of metal. Through the small window, she watched the rain and thought about the music box. The photograph inside showed her mother standing beside a mine entrance, wearing a secretary's neat shirtwaist. On the back, in her mother's hand, was written, Whispering Pines, Silver Concern, 1851, Head Office. 16 years before Blackwood claimed to have discovered the deposit. 16 years before anyone filed the current claim. Her mother had worked there. Her mother had known. A soft tap on the glass made her turn. Finn crouched outside, rain streaming down his face. He made a gesture, stepped back. She moved away from the window. The latch popped with barely a sound.
Can you ride?
Yes.
Then, we go now.
They will hunt us.
They already are.
She looked at the locked door, at the guard's shadow moving beyond it, and made her choice. She climbed through the window into the rain. Finn caught her arm, steadying her on the slick ground. And then, they were running. His horse waited in the alley behind the trading post, a sturdy bay gelding with intelligent eyes. He swung up and pulled her behind him in one smooth motion.
Hold tight.
She wrapped her arms around his waist and felt the horse leap forward. Behind them, shouts erupted. A gunshot cracked, but the bullet went wide. Finn guided the bay through the flooded streets with the confidence of someone who knew every rock and rut. They splashed through standing water, past the dark shapes of buildings, and hit the open ground beyond town as the rain turned vicious. The salt flats stretched ahead, reflecting the sky in broken sheets. Finn did not slow. They rode for an hour, maybe more. Time blurred into cold and rain, and the steady rhythm of the horse beneath them. When Finn finally reined in, they were at the base of a low ridge, sheltered by an overhang that cut the wind. He dismounted and helped her down. Her dress was soaked through, the apron a heavy weight. She shivered.
There is a line shack half a mile east. We can reach it before dawn.
Why are you helping me?
He looked at her, rain dripping from his hair.
Because I know what it is to be hunted for something you did not do.
What did they say you did?
Killed a rancher's son in a card game. I did not. The boy pulled a knife. I defended myself. 3 witnesses said it was fair. His father said it was murder and put a price on my head. I have been Finn Thornton for 2 years. Before that, I had another name.
And you think they will believe me the way they did not believe you?
I think you have something Blackwood wants, and he will not stop until he takes it, or you prove he is lying.
She pulled the music box from her apron, the rosewood slick with rain.
My mother worked at the Whispering Pines Silver Concern in 1851. I have a photograph. If the mine was active then, Blackwood's claim that he discovered it last year is false.
That will not be enough. You need the original land office records.
They are in the territorial office. The one he says I robbed.
Then, we go back.
They will be waiting.
Yes.
He said it calmly, as if walking into a trap were just another problem to solve. She studied his face in the faint pre-dawn light and saw no hesitation.
You do not have to do this.
I know.
They reached the line shack as the sky turned gray. It was a rough structure, 4 walls and a roof that mostly kept the rain out. Finn got a fire going in the stone hearth, while Cassandra wrung out her apron and tried to stop shaking. The warmth crept back slowly. He pulled a folded map from his saddlebag and spread it on the floor. Old survey lines, water sources, the original town plat from 1849.
The territorial office is here, center of town. 2 entrances, front and back. Blackwood will have men at both.
Then, how do we get in?
We do not. We wait until Sunday service, when the office is empty and Blackwood is required to attend. He is militia. He has to maintain appearances.
That is 4 days away.
Yes.
He said the mine opens in 7. If I have not signed over the deed by payday, he loses the claim.
So we have until Saturday night to prove he is lying, or he kills us both.
She met his eyes across the map.
Why does he want it so badly? There are other silver deposits.
Timing. The mine opens. The payday hits. The town doubles in size overnight. Whoever controls that land controls the water rights, the access roads, the supply routes. It is not about the silver. It is about the power.
And he knows my deed is legal, because my father bought the lot before he drank himself to death.
He knows. That is why he has to discredit you first. Make you a thief. Make the town turn on you. Then take the deed when you have no allies left.
Outside, the rain eased to a drizzle. Cassandra opened the music box, and the tiny mechanical tune played, fragile and clear. Her mother's face looked up from the photograph, young and serious beside the mine entrance.
She never told me she worked there. I found this after she died, hidden in the lining of her trunk.
Maybe she was protecting you from something.
Or someone.
They spent the day in the line shack, keeping the fire low, taking turns watching the ridge. Finn showed her how to load and check his spare pistol, how to hold it without flinching. His patience reminded her of the way he gentled his horse, steady and calm. Near dusk, a rider appeared on the far side of the salt flat, too distant to identify, but moving with purpose.
Searching.
Will they find us?
Not tonight. But we need to move before dawn.
They left in the dark, riding east toward the canyon country where the terrain turned to red rock and juniper. The floods had not reached here, but the ground was soft, and the horse picked his way carefully. By sunrise, they were high enough to see the valley spread below, the salt flats glittering with standing water, Whispering Pines, a cluster of buildings in the distance. Smoke rose from a dozen chimneys.
We cannot stay hidden for 3 more days.
No. So we stop hiding and start hunting.
Hunting. What?
Blackwood's proof. He says you stole documents. That means he had to create false documents to replace the real ones. Someone helped him. A clerk. A surveyor. Someone in the land office.
And if we find them?
We make them talk.
They worked their way down the canyon by a goat trail Finn knew, coming out near the old Spanish mission ruins a mile south of town. The place had been abandoned for decades, walls crumbling, roof gone. But the records room still had shelves, and some of the old mission documents remained, protected by oilcloth. Finn tied the horse in the shade, and they slipped inside.
What are we looking for?
The original mission kept land records before the territory was organized. If your mother worked at the mine in 1851, there might be a mention. Employment, tax records, something.
They searched for 2 hours, pulling down ledgers that shed dust and silverfish. Cassandra found it in a water-stained payroll book. 3rd page, halfway down. Maria Reyes, secretary, Whispering Pines Silver Concern. Her mother's maiden name.
She used her real name.
Before she married your father.
This proves she worked there, but not that the mine was active.
Keep looking.
The next ledger had a list of ore shipments, dated 1851 through 1853, signed by the mine foreman and witnessed by the mission priest. 3 years of silver leaving Whispering Pines, recorded in careful script. The mine had been operational. Blackwood's claim was a lie.
We have him.
We have proof. We still have to get it to someone who will listen.
A shadow moved across the doorway. Cassandra looked up to see 2 men, hired guns by the look of them, pistols drawn. Behind them, Addison Blackwood stepped into the mission, still smiling. We have been following your tracks since dawn, Miss Miller. You and your vaquero friend are not as clever as you think.
We found the records.
Blackwood's smile did not waver. Old mission documents, easily dismissed as forgeries. You are a desperate woman who stole from the territory. No one will believe you.
They will believe the priest's signature.
Blackwood glanced at the ledger, and for the first time, his smile tightened. That priest is 30 years dead.
But his records are not, and the ore shipment logs match the territorial surveyor's maps from the same years. Your claim says you discovered the deposit in 1866. These show it was mined in 1851.
Blackwood looked at his men. Burn it. Burn the whole mission. Finn moved before the words finished, shoving Cassandra behind a fallen beam and drawing his pistol in one fluid motion. The first shot cracked loud in the enclosed space. One of the hired guns went down, clutching his shoulder. The second fired back, the bullet chipping adobe near Cassandra's head. She grabbed the ledger, clutching it to her chest, as Finn returned fire.
Go! Back door!
She ran, stumbling over rubble, the ledger heavy in her arms. Behind her, gunfire echoed. She burst into the courtyard and saw the horse, still tied where Finn had left him. She threw the ledger into the saddlebag and turned back. Finn appeared in the doorway, backing out, pistol aimed at the interior. Blood streaked his left arm.
You are hurt.
Not bad. Mount up.
They rode hard, the horse laboring under the double weight. Behind them, smoke began to rise from the mission. Blackwood would burn it all, erase the evidence, claim they had started the fire. By the time they reached the canyon trail, the sun was past noon, and the horse was blowing hard. Finn reined in at a spring to let him drink.
Let me see your arm.
The bullet had grazed him, a deep furrow, but not life-threatening. She tore a strip from her apron and bound it, her hands steady despite the fear coursing through her.
We cannot go back to town yet. He will have men at every entrance.
Sunday is 2 days away.
We wait at the canyon camp. There is water, cover, and I can see anyone coming from a mile off.
They climbed higher into the red rock country, finding a sheltered spot where a spring fed a small pool and juniper provided shade. Finn tended the horse while Cassandra checked the ledger. The pages were intact, the priest's signature clear. It was enough. It had to be enough. That night, They took turns on watch. The stars came out hard and bright, the air cold enough to see their breath. Cassandra sat by the small fire, the music box in her hands. And Finn sat across from her, his arm freshly bandaged.
You never told me your real name.
Does it matter?
It does to me.
He looked at the fire for a long time.
Rafael Dominguez. My father bred horses in Sonora. I was supposed to take over the ranch. Instead, I killed a drunk boy in self-defense and lost everything.
Do you regret defending yourself?
No. I regret that it cost me my name.
Names can be rebuilt.
Can they?
I am trying to. My father drank himself to death and left me nothing but a deed and a bad reputation. People still call me the drunk's daughter. But I am going to build that school, and when it opens, they will call me something else.
What will they call you?
The school teacher. Or maybe just Cassandra.
He smiled at that, a real smile that reached his eyes.
I think they will call you stubborn.
I think they already do.
Saturday came with high clouds and a wind that smelled of rain. They broke camp before dawn and rode down toward Whispering Pines, taking the long route that kept them in cover. By mid-morning, they were on the ridge overlooking town. Smoke rose from the mine works to the east, and Cassandra could see men moving like ants around the shaft. Payday was tomorrow. Blackwood would make his move tonight.
He will come for you before church, try to force the deed, or kill you and claim you died fleeing justice.
Then we go to the church first.
It will not be open until morning.
Father Michaels lives in the rectory. He knew my mother. If anyone will listen, it is him.
They waited until dusk, then rode in slowly, the horse tired and the light fading fast. The church stood at the north end of town, white clapboard with a small bell tower. Light showed in the rectory window. Finn tied the horse behind the building, out of sight, and they approached the door. Father Michaels answered the knock, an old man with kind eyes and careful hands. He looked at Cassandra, then at Finn, and stepped aside. Come in quickly. Inside, the rectory smelled of lamp oil and old books. Father Michaels poured them water and listened while Cassandra explained. She showed him the music box, the photograph, the mission ledger. The priest read the pages slowly, his lips moving with the Latin script. Your mother was a good woman. She tried to tell me once about the mine, about the men who wanted to hide its history. I did not understand then.
Will you testify?
I will do more than that. Tomorrow at service, I will read these records to the congregation. Let them hear the truth before Blackwood can silence it.
He will not let you reach the pulpit.
Then we make sure he has no choice. Father Michaels locked the door and pulled the curtains. You will sleep here tonight. I have a back room. In the morning, ring the bell yourself. Ring it loud and long. The town will come, and Blackwood cannot silence all of them. They settled in the small back room, a space barely large enough for a cot and a chair. Finn kept his gun close and sat by the narrow window, watching the street. Cassandra lay down, but did not sleep. The music box sat on the chair between them, its painted roses catching the faint light from the hall. Hours passed. The town grew quiet. Then, near midnight, Finn stiffened.
Riders. 4, maybe 5. Coming slow.
Blackwood.
No. His men. He will come at dawn, with the law. Make it look proper. These are just watchers, making sure we do not run.
The riders circled the church once, then settled in the shadows across the street. Finn moved away from the window and sat beside Cassandra on the cot.
If it goes wrong tomorrow, you take the horse and ride hard for the territorial marshal in Prescott. Do not stop.
I am not leaving you.
Cassandra.
No. We finish this together, or we do not finish it at all.
He reached for her hand, and she took it, their fingers locking tight. They sat in silence, listening to the wind and the faint creak of the watchers' saddles outside. Just before dawn, Cassandra spoke quietly.
Why did you really come back to help me? You could have ridden on.
I told you. I know what it is to run.
That is not all of it.
Finn was quiet for a long moment. Then, he sighed.
When I was younger, I rode with a crew. We took work we should not have taken. One job went bad. A woman died. I was not the one who shot her, but I was there. I ran instead of staying to tell the truth. I have been running since. When I saw you standing in that store, I saw someone who would not run. Someone who would fight even when it was easier to leave. I wanted to be that person again.
You are that person.
Maybe. With you, I think I could be.
The first light came pale and cold through the window. Finn stood and checked his revolver, then helped Cassandra to her feet. Father Michaels was already awake, dressed in his Sunday vestments. It is time. They climbed the narrow stairs to the bell tower. The rope hung thick and rough, and Cassandra gripped it with both hands. Finn stood at the top of the stairs, watching the street. The riders across the way stirred, one of them standing in his saddle to see better.
Now.
Cassandra pulled the rope hard. The bell rang out, deep and clear, echoing across the salt flats and the town. She pulled again, and again, the sound rolling through the cold morning air like thunder. Doors opened. People stepped into the street, shading their eyes, looking toward the church. Families, miners, shopkeepers. The town woke. Finn counted 20, then 30, then more. The riders across the street shifted nervously, unsure. Then, from the south end of town, a group of men on horseback appeared. Blackwood rode at the center, his smile bright and easy, his coat spotless. Beside him rode the deputy, a young man with a badge and a borrowed authority. They stopped in front of the church as the bell fell silent. Blackwood dismounted and tipped his hat to the crowd. Good morning, friends. I apologize for the disturbance. We are here on a matter of law. Miss Miller is wanted for questioning regarding the fire at her shop and the theft of territory documents. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Cassandra stepped out onto the church porch, Finn beside her, Father Michaels just behind. Blackwood's smile widened when he saw her. Miss Miller, I am glad you have decided to face this properly. If you come quietly, we can resolve this without trouble.
I am not going anywhere with you, Captain Blackwood.
That is unfortunate. Deputy, please escort Miss Miller to the jail. The deputy hesitated, glancing at the crowd. Father Michael stepped forward, holding the ledger high. Before any arrest is made, I have something the town must hear. These are mission records from 1862. They document the Whispering Pines mine and the men who died building it. They also named the men who tried to bury that history. Captain Blackwood, your name is here. Blackwood's smile did not falter. An old book, Father. Mistakes in translation, I am sure. There is also this. Cassandra held up the music box.
Inside this box is a photograph. My mother, standing with 3 miners at the original claim. One of them is still alive. His name is written on the back. If you want to call me a thief, Captain, then you will have to explain why you burned my shop to destroy this.
The crowd pressed closer. Blackwood's smile finally slipped. His hand moved toward his coat, but Finn's voice cut through the air.
Do not.
Finn stood with his hand near his holster, his eyes locked on Blackwood. The hired guns behind the captain shifted, but none of them drew. The crowd was too close, too many witnesses. Blackwood's face hardened. You are making a mistake, Miss Miller. That mine is claimed. Legal and proper.
Then, you will not mind if the territory reviews the original deeds. I am filing a counterclaim today. If you have nothing to hide, it will be resolved in court.
For a long moment, no one moved. Then, Father Michaels spoke, his voice carrying across the square. I will accompany Miss Miller to the territorial office. This matter will be handled by law, not by guns. Any man who tries to stop us will answer to the church and to God. The crowd murmured agreement. Blackwood looked at the faces around him, at the miners and families who had gathered, and his jaw tightened. Very well. We will see you in court, Miss Miller. But do not think this is over. He mounted his horse and turned away, his men following. The crowd watched them go, then slowly began to disperse. Cassandra felt her knees weaken, and Finn steadied her with a hand on her elbow.
You did it.
We did it.
Father Michaels organized an escort. 6 men from town, miners who had lost friends in the old accidents, agreed to ride with Cassandra to the territorial office in Prescott. It would take 2 days. But with witnesses and the church's backing, Blackwood would not dare attack openly. Finn would ride with them. Before they left, the townspeople gathered in the church for the Sunday service that had been delayed. Father Michaels read from the ledger, his voice steady and clear. And when he finished, he placed the music box on the altar. This belonged to Helen Warren, a woman who loved this town and tried to protect it. Her daughter has carried that fight forward. Let us honor that courage. The congregation stood and applauded. Cassandra felt tears on her face, and Finn's hand found hers again. After the service, they prepared to leave. The escort waited with fresh horses and supplies. Cassandra packed the music box carefully, wrapping it in a shawl. As she stepped outside, a woman approached, middle-aged with kind eyes. Miss Miller, I knew your mother. She helped me once when I had nothing. If you are staying in Whispering Pines, I would like to help you rebuild your shop.
Thank you. That means more than you know.
Others came forward. A carpenter offered lumber. A family offered a place to stay. By the time they mounted their horses, Cassandra realized the town had chosen her side. The ride to Prescott was long, but uneventful. They crossed the salt flats under a sky that shifted from gray to pale blue, the mirages shimmering in the distance. Finn rode beside Cassandra, quiet and watchful. And at night they camped with the escort, the fire low and the talk careful. On the second evening, as they neared Prescott, Finn spoke quietly.
What will you do after the claim is settled?
Build the school. That was always the plan.
And after that?
I do not know. I have spent so long just trying to survive, I have not thought past it. What about you?
I think I will stay. If you will have me.
As what?
A partner. A friend. Whatever you need.
She looked at him, and in the firelight his face was open and honest.
I think I need more than a friend, Finn.
He smiled, slow and warm.
Then I will be that too.
They reached Prescott the next morning. The territorial office was a stone building near the courthouse, and the clerk listened carefully as Father Michaels presented the evidence. The ledger, the photograph, the deed Cassandra's mother had signed. The clerk made notes and promised a hearing within the month. Captain Blackwood will be notified. If he wishes to contest, he may present his own documents. Until then, Miss Miller, the claim is frozen. No work may continue at the mine. It was enough. They rode back to Whispering Pines, slowly, taking 3 days. And when they arrived, the town felt different. Warmer. The carpenter had already started framing a new building on the site of Cassandra's shop, and a sign was posted, "Future Home of the Whispering Pines School." Cassandra stood in the street, looking at it, and felt something loosen in her chest.
It is real.
It is real.
That Sunday, they attended service again. The church was full, and Father Michaels smiled when he saw them. After the service, people lingered on the steps, talking and laughing. Cassandra felt Finn's hand slip into hers, and she turned to look at him.
I have something for you.
He reached into his vest and pulled out a folded paper. She opened it carefully. It was a deed, signed and notarized. A small plot of land on the edge of town, with a view of the salt flats and the mountains beyond.
I bought it yesterday. Thought maybe we could build something there. Together.
Finn Thornton, are you asking me to marry you?
I am asking if you will let me stay. The rest, we can figure out as we go.
She looked at him, at his warm brown eyes, and the quiet hope in his face. And she smiled.
Yes.
The congregation cheered. Father Michaels stepped forward and took their hands, pressing them together. Then let it be known, these two are bound by choice and by witness. May they build a life as strong as the town they have saved. Cassandra felt Finn pull her close, and she rested her head against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. Around them, the town celebrated, and the church bells rang again, clear and bright in the cold autumn air. They stood together in the church doorway after the service ended, the deed in Finn's hand, and the music box safe in Cassandra's satchel. The sun broke through the clouds fully now, warming the street and the salt flats beyond.
Ready to start.
I have been ready my whole life.
They walked down the steps, hand in hand, and the town opened around them like a promise kept. She carried her mother's music box into a deadly showdown at dawn. Whispering Pines, Arizona Territory, 1867. Cassandra Miller refuses to run when a ruthless militia captain burns her shop and tries to steal her family's mine claim. With only a music box, a faded photograph, and a mysterious vaquero by her side, she risks everything to expose the truth. Cold rain, hired guns, and a jealous past close in as the deadline ticks down. This is a story of courage, loyalty, and a love forged in fire. Subscribe for more Wild West tales of danger and resilience. Wild West romance, historical romance, Western love story, 1867 Arizona Territory, cowboy romance, strong female lead, Dangerous Showdown, Mine Claim Dispute, Music Box Mystery, Vaquero Hero, Small Town Story, Church Bells, Frontier Justice, Period Drama, Happy Ending Western, maintaining exact character consistency. Mexican Vaquero, in his mid-30s, with dark, wavy hair, warm brown eyes, strong build, tan cotton shirt with rolled sleeves, dark leather vest with silver conchos, dark trousers with leather chaps, weathered gun belt, protective, fierce expression, handsome, rugged feature, with slight stubble, beautiful woman in her late 20s, with chestnut brown hair and practical bun, bright green eyes, slender, graceful build, dark blue cotton dress with cream shawl holding ornate music box against her chest, determined, fearful expression with visible tears, lovely, delicate features. Cold dawn outside white clapboard church. Woman clutching music box as cowboy stands protectively beside her facing down, approaching militia captain and hired guns. Tense confrontation moment with gathered townspeople watching. Elderly priest holding up old ledger book behind them. Dramatic cold morning lig. HT breaking through storm clouds. Foreground shows church steps and iron railing with scattered autumn leaves. Midground has the couple standing firm with visible breath in cold air and tension in their postures. Background shows mounted militia riders approaching through morning mist with Main Street in dusk. Distant salt flats visible. Natural cold dawn light with long dramatic shadows. Darker warm beige and amber tones with cool gray storm light. Dusty street. Weathered wooden buildings, distant canyon walls, authentic late 1800s frontier atmosphere, photorealistic cinematic style, shot on cinema camera, natural golden hour lighting, shallow depth of field with soft bokeh background, warm beige and amber color grading. Looks like a film still from a premium Western romance movie. Authentic 1800s period photography aesthetic, professional portrait photog, RAFI-quality.0/exact character consistency from previous images. Mexican Vaquero in his mid-30s with dark wavy hair, warm brown eyes, strong build, tan cotton shirt with rolled sleeves, dark leather vest with silver conchos, dark trousers with leather chaps, weathered gun belt, protective, determined esprit, shun. Handsome, rugged features with slight stubble. Beautiful woman in her late 20s with chestnut brown hair and practical bun. Bright green eyes. Slender, graceful build. Dark blue cotton dress with cream shawl. Resolute expression. Lovely, delicate features. Inside small church rectory at night. Elderly priest at wooden desk, examining old mission ledger and ornate music box by lamplight, while couple stands nearby watching tensely. Warm golden lamplight, casting long shadows across simple wooden furniture and whitewashed walls. Foreground shows worn Bible and SCA, teared papers on desk. Midground has the three figures huddled in urgent consultation. Background shows small window with darkness outside and simple wooden cross on wall. Natural warm lamplight with dramatic shadows, darker warm amber, and deep brown tones. That night, they did not sleep. Finn kept watch at the window while Cassandra sat with the music box in her lap, winding it once to hear the thin silver notes. The priest copied passages from the ledger in his careful hand, creating a second record. Just before midnight, hoofbeats sounded in the street. Finn moved to the door, his hand on his gun. The riders passed without stopping, but the message was clear. Blackwood knew they were here.
He is circling. Testing.
Let him circle. We are not running.
Sunday morning broke gray and cold. The rain holding off, but the clouds low and heavy. The church bell rang at 8, and people began to gather. Finn and Cassandra waited inside the rectory until the last moment, then walked across to the church through the side door. Father Michaels was already at the pulpit, the ledger open before him. The pews were half full. Miners and their families, shopkeepers, a few ranch hands. Cassandra saw faces she recognized, people who had known her mother. She took a seat in the front row, Finn beside her. The doors at the back stood open, and through them she could see the street. Empty. Too empty. Father Michaels began to speak. His voice was steady and clear. He read from the ledger. The names of the men who had founded the mission. The agreements they had made with the families who worked the land. He read the boundaries of the Miller claim, recorded in 1848, 19 years before. He held up the photograph, the young woman and the music box. Sarah Miller stood on this ground and built a life. She raised her daughter here. The mine that some would claim was discovered last year was known to her family for 2 decades. This ledger is proof. This music box, a gift from the mission fathers, is proof. And I, who knew Sarah Miller, bear witness. The congregation murmured. Heads turned. Cassandra felt the weight of their eyes, and then she felt the shift in the air. Finn stood, his hand moving to his gun.
He is here.
Addison Blackwood stepped through the church doors, smiling. 2 men flanked him, hired guns with their hands loose at their sides. Blackwood removed his hat and held it over his heart. Father, forgive the interruption. I came to worship, like any man. Father Michaels did not move. You came to silence the truth. But you are too late. These people have heard. Blackwood's smile did not waver. I heard a story, a nice story. But stories are not deeds. Miss Miller, you have until tomorrow to produce a legal claim, or the mine reverts to public auction. My bid is filed. My money is ready.
The claim is legal. My mother held it. I hold it now.
Then show me the deed.
It was stolen.
Blackwood spread his hands. Then you have nothing.
She has the ledger. She has the photograph. She has witnesses.
Blackwood turned his smile on Finn. And you are?
Someone who knows what you did. You had men burn the land office in Tucson. You bribed the clerk in Prescott. You killed the surveyor who could testify.
The church went silent. Blackwood's smile finally slipped. Careful, friend. Accusations like that can get a man hurt.
I was there. I saw the fire. I saw your man pay the clerk. I have his name.
Blackwood's hand moved toward his coat. Finn drew faster, the revolver clearing leather in a smooth motion that made the hired guns freeze.
Do not.
The standoff held for 3 breaths. Then Blackwood lowered his hand and smiled again. You have one day. Bring me a deed, or I take the mine. He turned and walked out, his men following. The church doors swung shut. Cassandra exhaled, her hands shaking. Finn holstered his gun. Father Michaels closed the ledger. He will not wait. He will come tonight.
Then we finish it tonight.
After the service ended, Cassandra stood in the doorway and watched the congregation leave. Some nodded to her. Some looked away. A few stopped to speak, to say they remembered her mother, that they believed her. It was not enough to stop Blackwood, but it was something. Finn stood beside her, his eyes on the street.
We need the deed. Without it, the ledger only proves your mother's claim existed. It does not transfer it to you.
My mother said the music box would clear a name. I thought she meant hers. But maybe she meant mine.
She opened the music box again, this time in full light. The interior was lined with faded blue velvet. She ran her fingers along the edges, pressing gently. Nothing. She tilted it, shook it. The music played, thin and sweet. Finn took it from her hands and examined the bass.
Here.
There was a seam, almost invisible. He worked his knife into it carefully and pried. The bass lifted, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a folded piece of paper, yellowed and brittle. Cassandra unfolded it with trembling fingers. It was the deed, signed by her mother and witnessed by Father Michaels and 2 others, dated 3 years before her death. Legal, binding, unquestionable.
She hid it. All this time, she hid it where no one would look.
Finn smiled, a rare soft expression.
Your mother was wise. Now we take it to the land office before Blackwood knows we have it.
They rode hard through the cold rain, the deed wrapped in oilcloth and tucked inside Cassandra's dress. The land office was closed, but the clerk lived above it. Finn pounded on the door until the man appeared, sleepy and annoyed. Cassandra showed him the deed. The clerk read it twice, checked the signatures, then stamped it and recorded it in the official book. It is done. The mine is yours, Miss Miller. They left before Blackwood could arrive. That night, they waited in the church. Father Michaels sat with them, a rifle across his knees. The rain drummed on the roof. Near midnight, they heard horses. Blackwood came with 4 men. They surrounded the church and demanded entry. Finn stood at the door.
The mine is recorded. The deed is legal. You have no claim.
Blackwood's voice came through the rain, cold and flat. Then I will take it anyway. Gunfire erupted. Finn pulled Cassandra down behind the pews as bullets splintered the door. Father Michaels fired back through a window. The fight was short and brutal. 2 of Blackwood's men fell. The others fled. Blackwood himself rode away into the rain, his smile finally gone. By dawn, the storm had passed. Cassandra and Finn stood in the church doorway as the sun rose over the salt flats, turning the mirages to gold. The congregation gathered for Sunday service, more than had come in years. Father Michaels read the ledger aloud, and the town heard the truth. Afterward, Cassandra signed the papers that would build the school. Finn signed beside her, his name steady and sure. She looked at him, this quiet man who had risked everything for her.
Will you stay?
If you will have me.
She kissed him there in the doorway, the music box safe in her pocket, and the deed recorded in her name. The town watched and smiled. The past was finished. The future was theirs.